Houston football. We're going straight to the source. This is the Lucho Locker Room Report with head coach Kevin Sumlin.
And the Cougars punch it in from the 7-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side. Sims in the backfield with Keenum. Cates changing the play, gets a direct snap, looking left on the inside slot. Touchdown, Patrick Edwards. He darts inside Brian McCann, and it's 23-3. That the only touchdown pass of the game for Case Keenum, who in the ball game completed 25 of 36 passes for 233 yards and that 1 touchdown. He was sacked 4 times in the ball game. And Ted Pardee, as we wait to hear from Coach Sumlin down in the locker room as he's making his way over to Chuck Brown's position. Ted, when's the last time that a Cougar team had more rushing attempts than passing attempts?
I can't believe it. I cannot believe this. Coach Yeoman's got to be beaming with pride tonight that our Cougar team just kind of did it the old-fashioned way. They did it by handing the ball off. I mean, I'm looking at the stats. Case Keenum, 25 for 36. 36 passes? Is that all?
Yeah, we usually do that in a half.
I was going to say, come on now. I think it's great. And really what it does is when this tape now goes to Southern Miss and they have to break it down and try to figure out how they're going to stop us, they're going to be giving our running game a whole lot more respect than at any point. You look at any of the film tapes that we've had this year, and people say, "Oh, they're just a passing team. They're just a passing team." Boy, not anymore. Not anymore. And really, it's with a bunch of new offensive linemen, right?
All right, let's go down in the Cougar locker room for head coach Kevin Sumlin. He's standing by with Chuck Brown.
Thanks, Tom. Here with Coach Sumlin. Coach, great game tonight. I don't know if you know this, but you ran the ball tonight more than you threw the football tonight. How about that?
Well, it kind of started last week. That's what was there. We tried to force it a little bit, and the running game was there. That's what, hopefully, as we get diverse in our offense, we're able to do that. We got a few more running backs now.
You had a lot of energy the first half, came out the second half, tried to get some energy, just kind of like bogged down a little bit. You got to work on that a little bit.
Yeah, we had a lot of energy the first half, opened up with a kickoff return, and then went to sleep at the wheel. We have got to play with an edge, and it's a different kind of situation with a young team. We're still winning, but we can play better. That's the good news. And as I told our team tonight, we still have not played our best football for a game yet, and that's good news as a coach.
You did. The offensive line did a good job tonight. SMU threw some blitzes at you tonight. I don't know if you weren't ready for that, but they really attacked you on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, they did, and they had a plan against, but I think that's the reason we were able to settle down and just run it. And, hopefully to be a complete offense, we got to be able to do some things. Last year in certain situations, we couldn't do that. I think we got a couple running backs now, and that we can rotate and keep fresh and keep our running game going.
Coach, you're 2-1 in conference now. You're right back in the race. You got Southern Miss coming in next Saturday at noon. It's a big football game for you.
They're all big. You know how it is. You said that last week. You said that the week before.
That's right.
The more you win, the bigger they get, and that's what you want as a team and as a coach. And we just need to keep the fans cheering and keep our guys energetic and get us to the game. Hopefully, we'll get a little bit more healthy each week.
If somebody told you you wouldn't limit SMU to 1 touchdown, the first touchdown in the fourth quarter, what would you have said?
Well, I just said, that's good. It's good defense. We were opportunistic. We didn't stop them completely. We won the turnover battle, which is something that was one of our goals this week with the game, since they were one of the top turnover teams in the country getting turnovers, and I think we hung on to the ball pretty well and got it from them, and that was the difference in the game.
Well, Coach, congratulations. Go celebrate and have a good week, and we'll see you next week.
All right.
Now back up to you, Tom.
All right, Chuck, thanks very much. Houston Cougars 38-15 over the SMU Mustangs. You're listening to the Cougar Postgame Show presented by Budweiser. Reach for Budweiser, perfect balance of flavor and refreshment. Open up a world of taste when you pick Budweiser. And a big thank you go out to our friends at Chili's, too. They hosted this week's edition of The Pulse with head coach Kevin Sumlin from 7 until 8 on Wednesday night. And you can get 7 perfectly sized entrees for under $7, and Cougar Hour before each radio show at Chili's, too, between 5 and 7 p.m. So come join The Pulse, be part of the tradition. After all, it's time to eat 'em up and go Cougs. More from Robertson Stadium on the Budweiser Postgame Show after this from Blue Stream Services.
It's been said, it's not the big that eat the small. It's the fast that eat the slow.
Unique perspectives. So, you think you can talk? Go to 790thesportsanimal.com.
Welcome back to Cougar football. Time for today's Player of the Game, presented by IBEW Local 716. Experience the code of excellence.
So Turner on to punt. Emmanuel Sanders stands at his 20-yard line. Turner gets a good snap, puts a knuckleball out there. Sanders from the 21-yard hit and down. Oh, baby. What special teams play. And it's C.J. Cabness who put the wood on him. Well, there's your player of the game, friends, right there. C.J. Cabness. Well, C.J. Cabness had himself one heck of a ball game today. 18 tackles on the ball game, 8 unassisted. He had a sack and a half. He had 2 fumble recoveries.
Whew.
Sold 5 programs. Had 4 hot dogs on the sideline.
Way to go, CJ. How about that? I mean, that is an impressive output. I mean, 18 tackles. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. They're going to be hard-pressed anywhere in this conference to come up with a better defensive player of the week than C.J. Cabness.
Absolutely. And what a great story. You know, a guy who was a walk-on, you know, as all the high school kids that were listening, you know, CJ's an example of what you can turn out to be as a walk-on player, earned a scholarship, you know, has made a contribution, and now he's a major leader on this team.
Yep, and there's no question he's our IBEW Code of Excellence player of the game. He had the best game on the field by far of anybody, and the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 716, is a proud supporter of Cougar football. You can experience the Code of Excellence when you choose our friends at IBEW. Also getting in double figures in tackles in tonight's ball game was Nick Sines out of the safety spot. He had 10. Jamal Robinson had 7, and he did a great job, especially on the running game tonight.
Well, he sure did. And, you know, we talk about, boundary corners got to be tough like a linebacker, and that's an example of it right there. A guy that just, you know, helmet came off on some tackles. I mean, just played a fantastic game, and another sort of quiet guy, but a tough contributor.
And a young man who's getting more playing time, Philip Stewart. He's been pressed into duty. The young freshman linebacker, he too was 7 tackles in the ball game. Those are your 4 leading tacklers. But from a defensive perspective, that's exactly what you want your leading tacklers to be: your linebackers and your strong safety.
Oh, absolutely.
Those were your top 4 tacklers. That's when your defense is really clicking, when those guys are making it happen out there. And the Cougars in today's ballgame, as we wait for Chuck Brown to get some of the players down for us. So I tell you what we'll do. While we're doing that, let's go ahead and early on give you the Smart Financial Credit Union final stats of the ballgame while we're talking about the defensive figures. In the ballgame, Cougars win it by a score of 38-15. Cougars with 21 first downs, 19 for SMU. Rushing yards, 197 for SMU, 161 for Houston. Passing, 233 for the Cougars, 200 for SMU. Total offense in the game, 397 for SMU, 394 for Houston. In penalties, it was 6 for 65 for SMU, 4 for 50 for Houston. Time of possession, 33-17 for SMU, 9 of 16 for Houston. But here's the figure that makes the difference in this ballgame. Not only did the Cougars get 3 turnovers and SMU got none, but on 4th down and 3rd down, the Cougar defense pitched a shutout. SMU was 0 for 12 on 3rd and 4th down plays. Therein lies the story of this ball game. And speaking of that defense that we've had today in our IBEW Code of Excellence Player of the Game, finally, C.J. Cabness has made his way over to Chuck Brown in the locker room. Chuck?
Thanks, Tom. He was over there with, the other reporters. C.J., great game, 18 tackles. You did everything tonight, man. What was the deal tonight?
Oh, it was just a fun atmosphere. It was fun to be back at the Rob, and I think the whole defense was flying around. And we had great energy feeding off the offense. They were feeding off of us, feeding off the fans. They were into it. It was just a fun game.
Oh, did they do anything different, Lee, SMU offensive-wise that y'all didn't see or anything?
We practiced. They came out in a lot of 11 personnel, and we didn't see a lot of that in practice. But we got the corrections down and did our best to match it up.
And their running back, was pretty good. Y'all stuffed him pretty good. Were you keen on any special key tonight that got you around the ball all night long tonight?
You just gotta read your keys every play. We had different keys that you could do different situations, and I think I wasn't the only one that was doing it. The whole D line was doing a great job. Backers and